except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying?
I'm calling this one my Central Park Karen experience. Now, before I talk about the story, I'm gonna say that once you hear this story, and I know this isn't unique, the reason why people tend to go ahead and believe that a white woman would call the cops on a black man for literally absolutely nothing and for nothing that he actually did wrong is because that actually does happen. It happened to me. Now, I know in the story of what we call a Central Park Karen, if you do a little bit deeper, do a little bit digging deeper, and you look at a ABL's video, I'm going to link the heads below this one. You will find that, yeah, what the Karen, for lack of a better term, what she did was wrong and calling the cops on this guy, but he also did do some antagonizing of her because it was basically a game of escalation, and she decided to go to an ultimately crazy and racist level. Now, that being said, she was still wrong, though, because all he initially did was ask her to wear a leash. Ask her to wear a leash. Good Lord. Asked her to put her dog on a leash. She didn't want to put her dog on a leash. Then he said something that you could think would be threatening the dog, but really wasn't. He just said, "You're not going to like what I do." And that could literally mean anything. And then he called the dog over. And she totally overblew and overreacted. So the thing is, no matter what he said, even if he cursed her out and called her all kinds of names, or said, even if he said, "I'll kill your dog," which he didn't say, or to me didn't really imply, even if she thought he may try to kidnap my dog or something, that does not justify trying to manipulate a situation where a person could be murdered. Period. That's my opinion on it. Now, I will say that he may not have been able to provoke her to that point had he just been trying to be super nice the whole time and just say, "Hey, put your dog on the leash." She says no, and then he just let it go. That still may not have been enough to prevent her because of, now I'm going to say what happened with me. This was years ago. So this was before there were cell phones. So that means I have no proof of it. So in the minds of a lot of people, that means it never happened because I didn't get it on video. But this was about, I think it was a 1997, 98, 99, right around there. I think it was around the time I was a brown belt. Yeah, it had to be because I was practicing all the forms that I knew to get the first degree in Taekwondo. I lie to you not. I'm literally out in the park practicing because I wanted to go out in the park and practice because I've heard of people practicing Tai Chi in the park. When I went downtown, I've seen people doing Tai Chi in the park. So I thought, hey, why not go outside and do karate in the park? It's a nice day. I'm going to go out and do karate in the park. Now, when I've done that before, I see people watching me. So I'm like, I don't want people watching me, but I don't want to go too deep in the woods. So I'm going to go sort of midway and do karate right here in the park. Now, I'm on a trail. I don't want to do karate in the middle of the trail because I don't want to block people that are running or jogging. So I step off the trail. Now, where I stepped off the trail, I did not know that this was near somebody's house. They're saying, "That's our land. Everything up to the trail is ours, and then everything after that is a part." But I didn't know that because there was no gate, there's no sign, there's no nothing. And it's not like you could even see me where I was. And all I literally was doing was practicing forms on the air, beating up the air. Okay? So I'm practicing my forms. I'm not even ki-ing or anything. If I went to, instead of ki, I would just like go, huh, that's off and keep going. So I'm enjoying the cool breeze, going through my forms out in nature. And then here comes this Karen. The Karen comes up and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you?" I don't even know what she's saying. Like, get away, get away. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. And I'm going to go move. She's like, "No, no, no." No, you get away from here. I'm like, I'm at the park. I don't care if you're at the park. You get away from here. And she had a dog with her, right? So what do you think she does with the dog? She sicks the dog on me and tells me to attack. Tells the dog to attack me. That dog is so lucky that I like dogs. I'm not a dog person, but I have nothing against a dog if a dog is not trying to bite me. So she sicks the dog on me, and this is what made it comedy. I couldn't see this from the time. I couldn't see it until the dog got up on me. She sicks the dog at me. The dog's running at me. And then the dog starts like panting and breathing hard. And by the time it gets to me, I see this old ass, wretched, decrepit looking dog that's just, that thing is so old, it was out of breath by the time it got within kicking distance. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to have to start kicking this thing in the jaw and in the ribs to keep it from biting me. And it was a big dog, but it was old. By the time it got to me, it started panting. And it looked up at me and it put its head down in submission and looked at me like, please don't kill me. I'm stuck with this woman. So I looked at the dog. I was like, oh my God. This woman is crazy. She's going to get this dog killed. So I'm looking at the dog and then I'm looking at her and I said, you need to get a dog that can actually protect your ass. And she was like, oh, she's being emotional. She starts going off about some people that did some damage to her property or something a week before. And I kept saying, look, I have nothing to do with those people. I'm sorry. I'm apologize. I'm sorry for whatever happened. But I have nothing to do with that. I am just trying to enjoy some time out in the park. So I didn't get super hyper mad. And she's still being ridiculous. And the poor dog looks like somebody please save me. Okay, so fortunately for her, her dad comes out there and he's wearing a jacket. He has his hands in his pocket. I don't know if this guy's got a gun or not. So, but he did look like he was appearing to be reasonable. Now he could have shot me. He could have thought, oh, this black man is trying to hurt my precious daughter. But apparently he must know his daughter's nuts too, because the first thing he said is, what's going on? He didn't say, get away from me, you Negro. He said, what's going on? What's going on here? And I told him what's going on. Hey, look, I'm trying to practice, and this woman is screaming at me about something that I have nothing to do with. And she tried to sick the dog on me. And he goes, she what? I said, I'm telling you, she tried to sick the dog on me. He's like, no, she didn't. And I said again, look, man, she's tried to sick the dog on me. Look at the dog. And the dog is down like with his head down, and he's like, you can tell the dog is like, it's like bowing. It's like, dog's like, please don't hurt me. So he's looking then he looks at her and he's trying to talk to her, calm her down. I said, look, finally I said, hey, look, man, I just want to practice. Where can I practice? And he goes, just go a quarter mile down the path. There's nobody there. You won't be bothering nobody. I said, thank you. I bowed and I left. And I left him here to talk to her, and I don't know what he said. I don't care what he said to her, but I was gone. Now, I could have got shot. Never know. What if I was the type where I was like, you ain't gonna tell me, and then I attack them? Or what if I attack the dog, I'm beating up the dog, and she's screaming because I'm beating up the dog, right? What if she had a cell phone and she decided to go full Karen and call the cops on me? Well, back then, what we had pagers. I don't think we had cell phones. Everybody didn't have a phone back then like we do now. So if I had not been calm, that guy could have came there. He had on a big jacket. He had a big windbreaker. He could have had a gun under there or something. I don't know. And he came up to me, he had his hands in his pocket. Could have had his hand on a pistol. I don't know that. I don't know what he had because I couldn't see his hands. But fortunately for him and me, he had reason. Now, what if he had a gun and he didn't shoot me? Or what if he tried to shoot me trying to protect her, and then I hurt him? Then he could end up having a heart attack because I was close to my prime then. If he tried to shoot me and missed, which could have happened, he tried to shoot me and missed, or let's say he comes there because the dog was done. Okay, the dog was done. I've actually fought dogs before. Dog was done. Dog didn't stand a chance because it was too old and too out of shape. So let's say if I went off, I'm beating the crap out the dog, right? And then he comes there, he sees me beating up the dog and she's screaming, or she tries to attack me and I knock her down. Then he pulls out the gun and he can't get the gun out enough to shoot me. And then let's say he misses instead of killing me with the gun. If I don't die and then I beat the crap out of him, then he at the age that he was, he could have had a heart attack. He could have had a heart attack just from the exchange. And then the cops come there and then I go to jail. Or I could have killed her, the dog, and him and left and there was nobody there because everybody didn't have cell phones back then. Or I die because the dog still has some life in it and it attacks me and it kills me. Or I die because he comes there and just shoots first and asks questions later. You see how a lot of these scenarios don't involve anything bad necessarily happening to Karen? Or I could have killed Karen. You see what I'm saying? All this is totally unnecessary. When I was minding my business, I was practicing. She's still mad at what somebody else did before me. And so she just sees black and is associating the behavior of people that are not me with me because of the color of my skin. So when you've had somebody sick a dog on you, when you're minding your own business in what you believe to be a public park, okay, you are inclined to believe that it's possible that, yes, a white woman might call the cops on someone who is bird watching. I'm just saying. So if you don't believe, right, that there are black guys out there who are minding their own business and are victimized, right? Because a lot of times when you hear a lot of these stories, it turns out, oh, well, the guy really wasn't doing this and he did it. Whatever, right? Oh, he did something. I'm telling you, this is one, and this ain't the only instance, but this is one that comes to mind where, yeah, I was minding my own business and somebody just was going to take it on themselves to do something to me. Now, a lot of people will turn around and go, well, see, that's how such and such should have handled himself, right? People should not have to be on a Zen-like path like I am in order to not get shot. Why don't people see this? People should not feel like they can sick the dogs on you because they're mad at what somebody else did. People should not have the privilege to fake cry on the cops and call them to possibly murder a bird watcher. And even the guy's last name is Floyd, I think, that they think wrote a forged check or was forging checks or something. You don't die because of that. But you do if you're African American around racists. Don't you? Like I said, just because I've been capable of handling situations like that, that doesn't mean I have no empathy. And the fact is, because I am capable of handling situations like that, that's why I get even more irate when something like that happens and somebody dies. Because I know it doesn't have to come to that. So, that's my Central Park Karen experience. Would you like to share your Central Park Karen experience? Please, don't write me a big book in the comments. Post your video about it. You don't have to put your face on it. I'm not putting my face on this one, even though this is on my channel and you can see, it's me. So, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. If you're wondering why you don't see me practicing in the park anymore, people who used to see me practice in the park, this is why. Okay? And peace. And thank you for your time.
Where them chicks at?